We back outside. We ain't been out here in a minute. It's been a long minute. Let us enjoy the weather. Yep. I'm giving y'all a moment to wake up. Wake your asses up. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. hmm
Since this is it, we should probably figure it out.
We about to go.
So, okay, now it's you.
Okay, somebody's here. Yay! Yay! We back outside. We are back outside in the jungle where we belong. Okay? Those of you who know we started our morning messages out here in this jungle right here. Only reason why we moved indoors is because I got dengue. That's the only reason. I got bit by a mosquito, got sick, and got mad at the outside. So we had to take the party inside. Great day, Angel. Good morning, Crystal. Ashe and Ashe. Okay? Boom. Let's get that down. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe I need this. Nope, I don't need that. I gotta figure out my setup again, because now my setup is tricked off out here. Vic's here. Say hi, Vic. Up. You know what? I got another special guest. I don't think they're gonna be on camera just yet. Let me see. Let me see. It's okay. Dun, 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 dun. She shut the door. I love that you have sleep all over your face. Come on camera still. Just stay back from the camera. That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. She came to visit. That's my baby. That's one of them. I got two babies. She got a twin brother. He's not here, but I got one. Say hi, one. Y'all think she looks like me? Everybody sees her. It's like, oh, I see the resemblance. We love that she's here. This is Sela, you guys. Sela is what I guess technically she's a junior at Howard. This is her sophomore year, but she's got junior status. Cause she lit like that. Cause she lit like that. So you got what, a year and a half before it's over?
I'm gonna try to do as many credits as I can.
Yeah. So she's here for spring break. God is so good to be able to let her get here. To know where I am is to know that I am moons away from civilization. Okay, it's not just let me go to Costa Rica. It's like
plane, car.
Yeah, that's how you get here. So
If you want to skip mini plane and car, take bus.
yeah, it's a journey. Okay, you gotta want to come here. Okay, you gotta know where you're going and want to come here. So
I really wonder why they don't have an airport over here.
I know it's probably coming.
That would make the most sense.
All right, so this is one half of my heart. The other half is still in Texas, and God willing, he's going to be able to make his way here as well. And those of you who didn't know I had kids, yep, I got two of them. They're twins. All right, say bye.
She's kicking me off.
You
Goodbye,
say
y'all.
bye. All right, because we got work to do. And I was only drawn to one deck, and we're going to get into the message. But yes, that's my baby. That's my baby. You guys have no idea. I'll tell more twin stories. For those of you who are new moms, young moms, I think my audience is a little bit older or maybe a little bit younger. I'm not sure. But I don't feel like y'all really be in like early kid raising stage. If y'all want me to talk more about parenting, my kids have always said I need to talk more about parenting. She specifically has told me I need to do more parenting content for years. And she's probably right. But I got so many other things to do too. She favors you. Yep. I'm definitely the mama, right? But if you see her daddy, you would say he's definitely the daddy too. They both. What's interesting about my children is it depends on which parent they're with, who they look like, because they look just like whoever they're with. When you see my son, you can be like, oh my God, he looks just like you. But then if you see his dad, you're like, oh my God, he looks just like him.
Perfect blend.
I mean, they are both literally the perfect blend of us. And then, do they look alike? Do the twins look alike? That's a question. I think sometimes they do. And then sometimes I'm like, no.
They look like brother and sister.
They look like brother and sister.
Absolutely.
That's good.
And Zion, he has glasses, so that kind of hides his face a
Yeah.
little bit, but with them off, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Hello, kitty tigers. All right. So, I told y'all who she is. I don't think I've introduced myself today. And it's okay that we're already almost 7 minutes in, six and a half minutes in. And you still don't know my name if you're new here. But I know yours, kitty. Hi. My name is Alami. My name is Alami Bashir, in fact, and I am an intuitive life coach. I am someone who teaches other people how to tap into and reconnect with their intuition. And for many reasons. So you can make more confident decisions, so that you don't burn yourself out, so that you can get in alignment with what you're here to do, what your purposeful journey entails. So many reasons to reconnect with yourself. What's up, Zeta Beta? Najee. I love your. I have to get in my fancy bag to say your name correctly so that it sounds dignified, because you can't help but sound dignified when you say Najee. Okay? Get yourself together when you say my name. Good morning, my love. All right, y'all. If you want to know more about me, what I do, and how I be doing, what's up, Crazy Barber? If you want to know more about my silly self, hello, Ebony. Yes, Ebony, you made it to a live video. Ebony, Scout's Honor, you were on my mind this morning when I took a shower. I was like, your name flashed in my mind. I do my best thinking in the shower, by the way. That's why that happened. Everything floods in the shower. Everything floods to the surface in the shower. I get a lot of downloads in the shower. And I got a download about you. Maybe it was like a forecasting that you would be here today. I love that for us. All right. Seriously though, that is really trippy that you're here this morning. Ah! All right. So I was drawn to one deck and one deck only today. And and not by choice. I was drawn to this intuitive life coaching oracle. And by the way, those of you who might be new here, every Monday through Friday, I do a live channeled intuitive message. I usually work with cards. I don't need cards. I'll probably start running my mouth gregariously about something in just a second. That starts our message. But yeah, welcome to the show. 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. Morning messages. We do this every Monday through Friday. So I'm glad you can make it. Thank you for liking the video already. I appreciate that. That means that you anticipate good things to come, and I love that for us. Clearly, I'm on one this morning. I love that. Feels good. My baby is here. Okay. Okay. There's more. I got 3 cards already, and there's more. And there's one more. And there's a lot of messages today. Okay. Actually, I guess it's the same amount of messages. They're just all coming from the same deck today. And one more. Boom. All right. So let's see how many cards we have. Jesus. Okay. I guess it's not that many. All right. We've got shit. We got 8 messages today. We got 8 cards, I should say. I don't say messages. It'd be a lot of messages. If you like to write things down, today's a good day. Okay. I feel a lot of bars, a lot of like one-liners that you probably be able to reuse, okay, in your own life. I have no idea what that means. Let's get into it, shall we? Um, I visually just saw this first card and I'm like, okay. I just said, I literally just saw the card though, but I literally just said to you to get something to write something down with, because it's probably gonna be some bars, some one-liners, some things that you want to repurpose and reuse in your life, like you're about to get schooled, okay? Do know that I be channeling these messages, so it's not my personal opinion. It's literally what I'm holding space for as a channel to share this message with you. But it does feel like you're about to get schooled and about to get a little bit of education that you might want to write down, like you take notes in school, okay? The first card says education, okay? And that's why I start laughing. It's because I said that to you, and then I saw the card, and it says education. And the card specifically says, education is an important part of your soul's development at this time. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so let me sit in that a little bit more. Let me sit in that. I'm just going to set these right there. Right there. And let me sit in that a little bit more. Hold on a second. No, that's cool. You just need to get permission. You need to get permission for that. But I was actually thinking the same, not thinking, I got the same download. I saw you working and him here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm with that.
Okay. I'm just gonna let it be. Okay.
So you're gonna, okay.
He's at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I'm not really sure why, but I needed to kind of ground a little bit more. Like I feel fine, but I needed to literally go and get the Florida water just so I can ground a little bit more in this message. So it feels like, this message is starting us out like with this theme of like self-study, okay? Which is, I kind of chuckle at that because it's appropriate. We have a workshop that allows you to self-study. I have no energetic correlation between the two. This is literally a channeled message. I'm hearing it in real time with you. But it's a lot of energy around self-study. So, all humans are not created equal, right? Like, everybody's not the same. We don't have the same story, okay? And even if we've had a similar journey, the story is not the same. We don't have the same players, the same situations. It's like we all have been on our own unique journey. Okay, we are all here to experience our own set of bullshit and our own set of miracles. Okay, like we're here for all of it and everything in between. Each of us. Okay. And we are each uniquely designed for the bullshit we came to experience. And I say the bullshit just as a placeholder for life's challenges, obstacles, lack of clarity, all the things that make our existence difficult is what I just sum total the bullshit. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning. Yeah. It's like energetically, you may not be recognizing this today, on Tuesday morning, February 25th, 2025. You might not be recognizing today that, before you came into your physical body, you chose to come here. Like you chose to incarnate, to come into this dimension, to have all of the experiences that you're having. Like you chose it. And that's not me, myself, telling you that. This is literally coming through as a channeled message. And I'm saying the word message, but I'm hearing the word reminder. Okay. A reminder. It's a reminder. Okay. You may not be remembering it today, and you might not have remembered it yesterday when you had yesterday's challenge or last week's challenge. You weren't remembering it at that time, that you chose to come to this because you wanted to experience this. And I know this is really hard to have this conversation when we start talking about life's challenges. And like, I did not choose this trauma. I did not choose this tragedy. I would have never chosen these hurts and these hardships. I would have never chosen. Okay. I believe you. Okay. I believe you. And then there is this message, and you can hold space for it or not. We chose it. Okay. And, you know, whether or not you, quote, believe that is irrelevant. We can just hold space for it to be null or void, okay? But then there's like when you really start paying attention to yourself, okay? And you start paying attention to things that you've overcome, things that you've lived to tell about, things that you find that are uniquely special about you, that you do in a certain way that's cool. It's like when you come to realize that all those feelings of like love and joy and excitement and enthusiasm, all those great feelings that you get to enjoy in this dimension, when you come to experience those things, then it reminds you of why you want to be here. Okay? But I'm here to tell you today that you chose to come here. Okay. And so whether you want to be here or not now, remember you chose it. And the reason why you chose it is because you knew you could do it. And so the spirit of this message as we start in on it is around remembering your promise in this reality. That before you came here, you chose to come here because you wanted to experience all the breadth and depth of emotion, because to feel alive is to feel, to feel, to feel, okay? It's to feel alive. Those of you who are taking notes, to feel alive is to feel. Okay, and there's a lot of entendres to this. So it's like you came into this physical reality because you cannot experience these kinds of layers of experience, i.e. feelings. You can't get to these sensations without the contrast of the high and the low, or what we call the good and the bad, or the light and the dark. Like the contrast. And I'm not the first person to say this. This has been said by philosophers and spiritualists and all kinds of spiritual and intellectual intelligences. Like, we will know this, okay? That it is only because we know darkness that we can experience and enjoy the light. We can know the difference, okay? So, you know, this is all subjective. I'm just channeling a message. You know if it resonates for you, if it sticks, if it feels real for you, you know for you. Okay. And how do you know for you is not based on what you think, it's based on what you feel. Okay. You might be thinking, I would never choose this. Yes, because in your conscious mind you wouldn't. I never would. I wouldn't chose this. If you told me what was going to happen and how it was going to play out and how I was going to have to experience this hurt and this loss and this trauma and this divorce and this, you know, untimely departure, like, I don't think I'm signing up for that. I'm pretty sure I'm not signing up for that because it just sounds difficult. But there is something in us that when we hear these stories of like, I chose this, it's like you can't abandon it completely. Because when you really start to look at how you are uniquely made and how you have found resolve in whatever way you have found it, even sometimes dysfunctional ways, however you found a way to get through, to get over, to break through, to go beyond, however you found ways to overcome whatever the difficult parts are in your story, it's like it's because you are built, you were built for it. Whether you want to be or not, okay? You are built for it. You have a certain set of qualities, a certain innate set of abilities that literally allowed you to do it. And you might attribute it to, no, it's because I had help from so-and-so and because I learned such and such or because I got this money or because this came through. You might try to attribute it to all these other external things, but it's only because you have found a way to make a way through moments that other people have crashed and crumbled through or avoided, definitely with fear. It's like you have a way of moving through life that allows you to be effective. Even if you feel like you're still hanging on by a thread right now. God damn it, you still here. Okay, so there's a lot of energy in this message around like orienting you to who you are. Okay, you are a bag of wisdom. Okay, you have experiences, you have learned knowledge, you have all kinds of things that you have accrued. Okay, and even with all these things that okay, all the things I'm making reference to that you're like, yeah, I have, and yeah, I did, and yeah, and yeah, and yeah. With all of those aspects, let me see. Okay, there she is. With all of those aspects of the greatness, the great things you know about yourself, there's still so much more you don't know and haven't accessed yet. There's so much more you still don't know about you. All the things that you question right now is, can I do it? Is it possible? Is it for me? Am I worthy of it? Can I stand it? Is it coming? Like all of that fear and all of that worry and all of that doubt, that questioning that you bring into the equation that starts to act like you don't know who you are and what you have to offer. It's like all of that stuff is the stuff you don't know about yourself. All of those things that hold you back from being the great person you know you are meant to be, is like all of that stuff you don't know how to navigate. Okay. And that's the stuff we came here to master in this lifetime. Is we came to master the parts of ourselves that we don't know how to navigate. Okay. So when we start talking about education this morning, we're talking about self-study. Okay, with all the things that you know to be true about yourself, there's still some things you can't crack the code on. Still things you can't put your finger on. I remember feeling times in my life just feeling like the only thing that can come to mind, the only word that comes to mind is gray. It's like I just felt gray. Even on the days that I might have been smiling and like going about my day, finding moments of joy, I just felt like there was like a gray cloud over my life. And I could not really put my finger on it. It was like I had a career, and it was a lucrative career, and it was meaningful work, and I enjoyed the work, but I still did not feel satiate. I still did not feel satisfied. Like I was whole and complete in what I was doing, how I was doing it, where I was doing it. There were pieces of it that I could make sense of in reality, quote unquote, why I wasn't happy. Okay, I wasn't particularly happy living in Sacramento. Shout out to Sacramento, love y'all, but at the town at that time, I felt was too small for me, and I felt like I needed more stimulus that I wasn't getting there, and that was a part of it. What was I talking about? I lost my train of thought going toward that. The gray cloud. So I had a job that most people would, die for, like I had a career that I could have died in, worked till death did me part, because it was just that kind of gig, having tenure, I could never get fired. So it was like I was set up for life, literally, occupationally speaking, if I wanted that life. But it wasn't enough. I wasn't satisfied in my relationship. I was understimulated there. and it was just so many other, and I felt like I wanted to be doing something else, but I didn't really know what the something else was. And part of it was because I had completely cut off entrepreneurship as an option, because I'm like, that's too much. I'm never gonna do that. I'm never gonna do that because that's fucking too much. And here I am, damn, 8 years later, 9 years later, this year, still standing. So that's something to be pretty proud of. Get a little choked up about that one. So, yeah. The gray cloud was present. And, you know, and see, and I'm one of those people who's been very, or tried to be, I'll say, be very intentional with my self-care and doing shadow work and, you know, tackling the parts of me I didn't like and that I didn't prefer, how that showed up in relationships and with people. It's like doing that part of my work, doing early childhood, you know, healing trauma work. I was doing that work. So at that time, it wasn't like I felt like, you know, I needed to do more shadow work or go to therapy, or it wasn't like a go to therapy thing, you know. It was it was like I can see it and contextualize it now, but at the time I had no language to explain the disconnection I felt with my own life. So, fast forward, having come full circle in this moment, obviously having quit that job, gone into entrepreneurship, and made a hard pivot toward more of what I like. I didn't know exactly what was missing, but I chose to do more of what I liked, and that led me to more fulfillment in some of these other places that I've now discovered, like human design, like coaching in general, okay? Um, you know, self-mastery, really, you know, taking ownership over your mindset and mastering yourself by understanding yourself and how you function and what your drives and motivations are. You know, like as I dove deeper into those interests, I found these other tools. I found my own intuition, just leaning into my natural curiosity of what I enjoyed, you know, and it was just it was a beautiful unfolding, as it is for everybody. You know, this is just my journey, but to do more of what I love definitely did guide my ship, Cool Kiwi. It definitely did, and still does. That is my litmus test of success in my life, is if I'm doing what feels good. And so I naturally want to teach people how to do that. And that's all living intuitively is really tapping into yourself and your sensations, using your intuition as a decision maker, but leaning into what feels good. Life don't be that hard when you do that basic math. Do what you like. Ooh, it's good. You know I'm gonna give y'all a song every goddamn day. Good morning. Ooh, I say, do what you like. Education. Stay focused, Alani. Education is an important part of your soul's development at this time. So, self-study. I, fortunately and unfortunately, was thrown into my own self-study by grief. I won't say that I sat here and chose, like, you know, when I was ready to level up my life, I just chose to just start self-studying, and, you know, I learned so much about myself that I just started making different choices, and, you know, all right, you get it, right? So it wasn't like that for me. The catapult for me to changing my life was losing my lover at the time. And changing my life was not even the focus at that time. I was recovering from grief. And while recovering from grief, I was forced to self-care differently. I was forced to self-care differently. I had not long before losing him, the year before, probably 9 months prior, I just lost my father. So I lost my father, and then I lost my lover 9 months later. And so I was, needless to say, really kind of lost in grief. And in being lost in grief, uh, and I'll also add this layer, and a parent, I'm a parent, I was a mom at the time while severely in the depths of grief. I did not have the liberty to just completely come undone because I still had to parent. I still had to function. I still had to work and I still had to live, right? And so I always say that, they gave me a reason to keep moving because death, untimely death, and severe grief can mimic and model severe depression and take you to some places that you wouldn't ordinarily be. And so I was in some of those places. And because I was in such a low place, I knew for myself I had to go into deeper modes and methods of self care. And so, in self soothing my grief and kind of co piloting with myself as I navigate this loss. And if you hear this language, it's like this is what it looks like and sounds like to show up for yourself. It's like I am having a human experience, but I also was kind of shifting into another layer of consciousness to know that I needed to take care of myself. I needed to love on myself. I needed to be patient with myself. I need to allow myself space to have these human feelings and go through this grief process in whatever way it needs to look. And so in showing up for myself, I started to notice more of how I was responding to life. I started to notice what felt good and what didn't. What conversations felt good and what didn't? Hell, what sleeping positions felt good and what didn't? What shows I watched on TV felt good and what didn't? I just started paying attention to what energies felt good and what didn't. And in that noticing, I came to notice more of the nuances of my own lived experience. It's like so interesting. It sounds so simple, right? Like you're walking through life. Of course, you're living your life. Of course, you're paying attention to your experience, but we're really not. We're really on automatic pilot most of our lives. You don't remember how you drove to work yesterday or how you got from the bathroom to the bed last night. You don't remember all the details of every moment and every moment of time. We just don't. We're on automatic pilot, moving through life, making decisions, having conversations. Like, we're not always consciously aware, self-aware. For me, in my grief process, it prompted me to be more attentive to my own needs. It made me become more self-aware. So that was really the trigger for me to become more akin to mastering myself. It was birthed out of a real need to self-soothe and self-help and self-care. And, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't have to take that to kick us into a new level of activation. It doesn't have to take a grief and loss experience. It doesn't have to take a challenge or a trial to catapult us, but oftentimes it does. It does. Like, we don't wake up to shit unless some shit goes left. Now it's got our attention. You're like, oh shit, what? Some shit's going the way we don't want it to go. It's now got our undivided attention. Okay. So unfortunately, it takes a challenging ordeal or situation or a life circumstance to wake us up to a new way of being, to show us how to show up for ourselves. Okay. But you can actively just start to choose to pay attention to yourself. You can do that. Okay. And that's why things like journaling are so helpful, is because it allows you a space to start writing down reflections, okay, and thoughts and ideas, okay. It allows you an actual space to be able to process conflicting ideas or feelings you might be having. We just keep it all jumbled up in our brain as one big blob. But if you actually start writing down things, you get clarity. You get a lot of clarity, in fact, okay? So some of you really do need to practice writing things down more. But the card says education, which is really prompting me to drive you to focus on self-study. This is even beyond before you take a class or do a workshop or do anything. It's just start paying attention to yourself. Like, look to get more familiar with you. You may know somebody else to a T, but there's certain parts of you that you have on automatic pilot that you're no longer noticing and no longer paying attention to that the whole rest of the world can see. Okay? And then there's other things that nobody can see. You don't notice it. The rest of the world may notice it, but they can't quite put their finger on it either. There's so many unconscious habits and attitudes and beliefs and principles and values and things that drive our life. So like when you start actively looking to catch yourself in the act, it's like you're paying attention. You're studying yourself. You're gonna start noticing some new shit. You might notice how you do a certain thing a certain way that turns people off all of a sudden. You've been wondering why you can't attract a lover or a divine group of friends, and now all of a sudden you catch that RBF that you just casually present, and you're not even trying to, and it just flashes right across your face, and then you catch yourself like, oh shit, I'm doing it again. Meanwhile, everybody's already seen it, and that's why they're not fucking with you. I don't know who that's for. That's specific, okay?
Damn.
That's specific. Who y'all been causing trouble with, okay? That is specific, okay? If you wondering why people don't approach you or don't want to befriend you or don't phone you back or follow up, it's like because there's something you're giving off that you're not noticing, okay? So, you know, education is an important part of your soul's development at this time. So education, of course, is a broad, there's a broad spectrum of ways in which you can get educated about yourself, but this is feeling like self-study, okay? I'll keep saying that. They want me to keep saying self-study. It's like self-reflection, practicing introspection, you know, just taking up a daily habit of just self-reflection every day. That is a great way to start this self-study, okay? Because then you're going to start looking at themes. You're going to notice what you said last week, Tuesday. It's real reminiscent of what you feeling this week, Friday. And you didn't see that on the surface, but now that you wrote it down, like now you're starting to draw connections in your own behavior, in your own drives, and motivations and things, okay? Inspirations, okay? All right. Boop, boop, be-doop. Next card says inner child. All right. And again, I'm working with this intuitive life coaching oracle deck, and I like this deck. I won't say I particularly like the visual of the cards, but the messages are good. Okay, card says inner child. Sorry, I be giving my honest opinion. You know, y'all may like it. Shit. Y'all may like it. Okay, but all the cards look the same to me.
For the cardstock.
Yeah, I mean the cardstock's legit. It's got a heavy enough weight. I'm paying attention to all this shit because my deck is coming. Shit. Inner child, you are currently healing old emotional wounds. Okay. Woo. Okay, maybe that's why I needed to go get this Florida water shit, because this shit got heavy real fast. You are currently healing old emotional wounds. So here's a quick story, fun fact about me. I don't know if it's fun, but it's kind of interesting. Trigger alert, trigger warning. So, you know, I had some inappropriate things happen to me as a young child, okay? And those experiences have really impacted me, of course, in so many ways. But one of those ways, oddly enough, aside from the psychosocial stuff, okay, you know, that's the obvious. One of those kind of unusual ways that it's impacted me is that I've stored a lot of feelings in my hips. My hips are real tight, okay? Like, real tight, you know? Like, I could dance, you know, da, 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 but the shit would be real tight, okay? Like, and I'm not gonna do it to y'all, but real tight and like such that I don't know how to twerk. I know. I know. I have a cute little ass, and I don't know how to twerk. Get out of here. I've been working on it though. I've been working on it. This is content that I'm probably gonna live to regret. However,
You gonna delete it?
I know. No, I'm gonna let it live. I've said worse things already. So having stored, and those of you who know body code or emotion code, like that's what happens when we have traumas and things we haven't dealt with. We store that. Those emotions don't go nowhere just because we may not speak it or let it out or express it. That shit just traps somewhere in our body, and it usually shows up as disease or some kind of dysfunction or some kind of dysrhythmia in our flow. So for me, a lot of that energy showed up in my hips, being real tight. So my little claim to fame, because I've been doing, especially the last 3 years, and I'll be 50 years old this year. The last 3 years have been very intensively focused on healing more layers of my childhood trauma. It's like once you start unpacking layers and you like, oh shit, I didn't know that was a dynamic playing out either. Let me deal with that or do something with that. It's like when you kind of pull the string and unravel a thing, you might see it as being like one big problem, but then you're like, oh man, that impacts me this way. Oh man, that impacts me that way. And it's an oh man, because it's like it's not fun stuff to have to unravel, but at the same time it's like thank God, because as you pull that, you dismantle it, you dismember it. It's like you disempower it. It no longer has the weight, the energy, the power. It doesn't have the depth and the breadth, the depth and breadth of impact that it once had, because you've started to process more and more of it. And Vic is hollering out here, you're welcome, because she has been an integral part of that. She's been my coach. And so, my point being, you are currently healing old emotional wounds. I am currently healing old emotional wounds. And I know that now because I can pop my ass. Oh, you see that hip. Oh, you saw it. I gave him a taste. You missed it. I gave him a taste. No more. You don't get no more. You don't get no more. Okay. That's what time it is over here.
You gave me the hip, babe.
That's what she said, you gave me hip. Yeah, that's what my inner child is doing now. Okay. Is that we are celebrating and dancing and freeing and loosening and feeling every bit of it in our bodies. Okay. And so, this self-study, because that's what I really feel like this message is, self-study. I feel like that's the theme today. Okay. It's self-study. It's self-study. It's pay attention. As I'm talking about looking back on things that I've experienced, it's like look to explain. Okay, it's not asking the question, does this impact me today? Okay, that's the default question. Answer yes. Yes, it does. Okay, it always does in one way or another. It doesn't mean it tears you back, tears you down, or holds you back. It might be the thing that drives you forward and pushes you ahead towards success. Okay, but it does impact you. So it's not asking if it impacts you, but it's asking how, and making sure that you allow yourself to brainstorm freely all the many ways it might be. It's like you don't have to say it is. How might these experiences that you had in your inner child be affecting you now? How might they be? Don't say no, they're not. Just speculate. How, if they were, if they did, how would that impact you? Okay, how would that be changing or guiding how you're making decisions in this part of the season of your life? Okay, yeah, I know it was 30, 40, 50 years ago. However, how is that impacting you right now, today? How might that be impacting you? Okay, so it's giving yourself permission to explore, okay, those particular aspects of yourself, but a lot of energy around self-study. Vic, come look at these flies right here. I've never seen these, and they're very beautiful. Can you see?
Flies.
Oh, you see that green one right there?
Oh yeah. It's like they're here and then they're gone.
Yeah, there's one right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Look at how beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry,
Okay.
we in the jungle. It'd be all kind of stuff out here.
It is pretty. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's the word I was trying to get to. Iridescent. When in your life have you ever heard me say a fly is pretty?
Never
Can't fucking stand flies. Next card. It says restlessness. Restlessness. It says find a way to calm the waters of your mind. Okay. Restlessness. So I know it's a lot of kind of unspoken stress in the world right now. Like people are talking about it, but they're not really talking about it. They're talking about politics and social media and bullshit and pop culture. They're not really talking about how it impacts them emotionally and how it's impacting their sleep and their eating habits and their moods and their relationships and their isolation, right? Nobody's talking about that, okay?
even realize it.
Nobody's talking about that. Vic said because people don't realize it.
I
Yeah,
think they're every
yeah. I think some people are starting to wake. I mean, this is a season. This is the age of Aquarius. This people are starting to wake the fuck up. Okay, I think people are starting to draw the connections. You know, and doing things like limiting their access to news or social media or certain kinds of content on social media. I think people are starting to make adjustments because they are drawing that connection. Like this shit is stressing me out. Okay. For many of you, it's creating some kind of disruption in sleep pattern. Um, Not all of you. Some of y'all still sleeping like a baby because you're drinking your wine and minding your business, and that's helping. Or smoking your weed, doing what you do, and that's helping. Um, but this card says restlessness, okay? And so I feel that two ways. I do feel like it's showing up as insomnia for some of you, you know, disrupted sleep patterns. But I feel like it's also showing up, excuse me, as inspiration, as like ideas. It's not like being up at night stressed and worried. It's being up at night with a bright idea you can't wait to get to. Okay. It's like, you know, being stimulated by possibility. Okay. It's not necessarily sorrowful while you're up at night, but it's like this feeling of restlessness. It's like you've got energy to move, but you've got nowhere to move it to. Okay. Whew. Okay. So the card says, find a way to calm the waters of your mind. And this is for everybody, regardless of if you up, you know, feeling good or you up feeling down. It's like a need to self-regulate. Okay. There's a need to self-regulate. We need rest. Everybody needs rest. I feel attacked right now. As I'm channeling a message, I feel attacked. I feel attacked. Why do I feel attacked? Because I have irregular sleep patterns. And I don't be up worried. I'll be up waiting for the sun come up so I can keep doing what I love doing, which is creating these programs and creating this infrastructure and talking to people about how they can change their life. And
You sleep only to stay alive.
I do. I don't know if y'all heard Vic. She said I sleep long enough to stay alive. And that's a really profound thing for you to say, and I can't disagree with that. I sleep because I know my body must rest in order to stay alive. That is not untrue at all. That is such a fact. So that's why I feel attacked. So therein lies my problem. I'm purpose driven, truly. I am purpose driven. The things that I'm doing in life is not for sport, is to change the world. Is to change people's lives, to help people change their life. Okay? That's what gives me life. That's what makes me excited to live, is to be able to do these things and to offer this type of support. So the restlessness is driven by that. But at the same time, what did I say? We need rest. Everybody does. We all do. Our bodies do need rest to function optimally, and sufficient amounts of it. And some of us need a lot more than others. Excuse me. I only really need, so here's the thing. My body really only needs like 6-7 hours. Like 6 hours, I'm good. Somewhere between 5 and 7 hours, I'm good. If I can get 6 hours uninterrupted, I am absolutely just fine. That's more than enough for me.
I think
And she's laughing.
I would guess that I think your first lucid thought in the morning is time to work. Like,
It's not even, I am literally working before I'm conscious.
Yeah.
I know it because I wake up
Yeah.
with something to say to
It's
her.
true. It's
And
true.
like
It
the
happens to me
first
too.
thing I open my eyes, I'm not even lucid in my brain to formulate a thought about what I'm saying.
I tell you,
I wake
think,
up and just start talking to her.
I think in my sleep, I'm in a different dimension doing the work with people, and it's like going well. So when I'm here, I'm behind. Like this
That's
reality
how I
is
feel.
not. This reality is not. We're not there yet, but I'm still building.
I feel like
so
I'm behind when I
I'm
go
like
to sleep.
teaching myself as I'm asleep. Like this is what you got to do, and I wake up like, okay,
Go do it.
yeah.
No, that's the vibe. I mean, this is not everybody's walk, but this is why we're in partnership. It's because we have a shared lived experience. But the restlessness, though, is ringing through for some of you. I feel a lot of ambitious thinking, and it does feel a little anxious. I ain't gonna front. It does feel a little bit anxious, but it still feels forward thinking. It feels forward moving. It doesn't feel like I'm stuck. I'm afraid. I'm a sitting duck. It feels forward moving. So I want to say, we need to get more rest. And so the card says find a way to calm the waters of your mind, which feels important. It's like, what I talk about, doing what feels good, doing what works, do what works. So you're like, I don't know what works. And that's probably because you haven't been working any particular strategies. It's like if you want to learn how to self-regulate, you've got to actually practice the processes. You can't just have heard about meditation and heard it works and then wondering why you can't relax and you're not actually engaging the strategy. Same with journaling. It's like you can't make excuses for why you don't journal and then not do it, and that could actually be the gateway to you resolving more of this angst. So it's like you gotta do what works, and if you don't know what works, all of you know how to Google everything. So, why can't you start? Even if you didn't know me or didn't know anybody on this planet, why can't you Google, or if you fancy enough to know ChatGPT, some anti-anxiety strategies and how do I calm my mind? How do it'll be smart enough to tell you some stuff, okay? But I know that fundamentally, everybody in here got 3 to 4 to 5 strategies that they know they could go to immediately to start working through self-regulation. If you find yourself feeling really overwhelmed with life, like what do? You have strategies right now that you do, but you don't necessarily put it together in your mind like, oh, okay, I'm feeling this, go do strategies. It's just like you're disconnected from that kind of that call and response or cause and effect. You're feeling something, so then react to it. It's like we be feeling stuff and then be going on about our day. We don't look to like respond to it. We don't look to self-care it, to self-soothe it. We're just like go forward, with more angst. So find a way, it says, which that for me says really get into some of your self-care strategies, your what I call mental hygiene strategies, ways to calm your nervous system, anti-anxiety strategies, okay, stress management strategies. I'm giving you buzzwords. What cards are these? I'm giving you buzzwords so that you know kind of what to search for, okay? If you're on YouTube, okay? This is the kind of content we're going to continue to build out on this channel as well, strategies. Cool Kiwi is the Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle, okay? Like Kelly T. Smith. Shout out to Kelly T. You did a good job, girl. Everybody don't have the same visual aesthetic, so the pictures, but it's all good. I do enjoy this deck every time I use it. I haven't been using it a whole lot, but I do enjoy it. Okay. Keep going. Next card. And what are we talking about? Self-study. Self-study. So as we're talking about restlessness, again, self-study, pay attention to what works and what doesn't work. Okay, if watching TV all the way up until the time you go to bed to close your eyes doesn't work, let's stop doing that. Okay, it might be adding to that restlessness. If eating late at night keeps you up because you can't quite digest your food right away, Maybe you should stop eating earlier. Okay, you've got to calm this restlessness. If you are overstimulated with ideas and possibility, then maybe you give yourself time in the day, late in the afternoon, to write down some of those ideas and just let them live on paper somewhere so you can get it out of your head. Okay, it's like you got to go into strategy mode. Okay, you got to go into self-care mode, but you can't self-care anything you haven't self-studied. You got to pay attention. Okay, pay attention. Next card says synchronicities, I mentioned. Okay. It says, allow the magic to unfold as a synchronistic events. What? Oh, sorry. Allow the magic to unfold as synchronistic events lead you in a new direction. And it's card number 44, Zila. Synchronicities, 44 is her number. Allow the magic to unfold as synchronistic events lead you in a new direction. I feel like this message came up yesterday. I can't remember what we talked about yesterday, but I know that energy came up yesterday. It was something to the effect of don't try to put on the brakes just because you can't figure out what's happening next. It's like we're already in the flow of things kind of moving us in a new direction. And some of us are trying to pause and pump the brakes because we haven't figured out how it's all going to work out. Okay, am I back? Are we back? Okay, am I back? Are we back? Oh my God, we got a little block. I need somebody to talk to me so I know we back. Say something so I know that we're back. Bueller. Okay, there's some hearts. There's a pulse. I love that. Okay. Okay. Let me get back in my flow. The Wi-Fi clicked out for a second. Sela, look at how the universe brought you out just in time. Okay, we are back. Good job. Look. Look at the card. Look at the card. Number 44.
All right, I saw that first.
Girl, the card says synchronicity, Sela. Allow the magic to unfold as synchronistic events lead you in a new direction. Allow the magic to unfold, Sela. So, yeah. It's a lot of energy around, like we're talking about self-study, but it's a lot of energy around watch yourself. Shake your ass. Watch yourself. I told them my hips is loose.
Earlier.
You saw that? No, it's giving that. Watch yourself. Watch yourself. It's giving that. It's giving pay attention, okay? The card says synchronicities. It's like pay attention. It's like there's a cause and effect. When you act right, the universe responds, okay? Like that's the long short of it. When you act right, the universe responds. When you trust in your knowing, when you trust in what you believe, when you act right, when you make intuitive decisions, when you stay true to yourself, when you act right, the universe responds, is what I'm hearing, okay? So it's like not just allow life to carry you in a direction that might feel unknown. It's like anytime you respond in kind in that allowance, you're going to get rewarded. You're going to get evidence of alignment. You're going to get the confirmation that it's the right thing to do. It's like, and it's not going to be a coincidence. It's like, oh man, I just decided to not set my alarm clock and just trust that I would wake up on time. And then I woke up on time and it was perfect. It's like trusting that everything is happening perfectly in not just divine timing, but it's divine alignment. It's perfect. Everything is perfect, okay? Everything is perfect. But it's like paying attention to what you do, what your drives are. It's like paying attention to when you do this, what outcomes do you get? It's like paying attention to what you might call coincidence, okay? It's like, I thought about so-and-so, and then they called me, and like, oh my God. It's like, pay attention to that process. All you had to do is think about them to generate frequency that brought them in. Like, pay attention to how often you can do that. Okay, like self study. Don't just take, oh, that just so happened, that was ironic, or that was coincidence, or that, you know, that just so happened to be like that. It's like, pay attention to yourselves. Pay attention to how you contribute to outcomes in your life. Pay attention. And even as I say, it's like painstaking for me to keep saying pay attention, because we can only pay so much attention to ourselves. There's only so much we can see, okay, without an extra layer of intervention. There's only so much of yourself and your own conscious experience that you're going to be able to get to. There's only so much of your unconscious experience that you're going to be able to get to. There's only so much. Because by nature, unconscious means that you're not noticing it. You're not conscious. You're not privy to it. You're not accessing it. It means that other people may be able to see it, but it's not conscious to you. Okay? And that's so important. It's so important to come to that knowing that there are parts of you that you simply can't see that are running the show of your life. There's parts you're immune to. You just can't even see it. Forest for the trees, as they say. You can't see the forest for the trees. Okay? Like, you're too close to it to see it. So sometimes these synchronicities, we're so close to it that we can't see it. We can't even remember that, you know, things lined up for you perfectly yesterday. It just seems like, you know, that's just how it was supposed to be. But no, there was a series of events that happened perfectly that set you up for something. And it's like, if you pay attention to how you contributed to that flow of events that set you up for something, it's like when you draw those connections between how you show up and what energy you receive, or what energy you give out to a situation and what comes back to you. It's like, pay attention to that. Self-study, okay? Self-study these synchronicities. When things happen to work out, pay attention to what dynamics were in place when it worked out. Okay. Woo! I don't feel like she sang that to me. She said, "Hey, pretty," and I feel like that might have been for you, but I'm gonna take some credit for it because you only got to be you because, no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna need a reprint on that shirt. Oh, girl, I thrifted this shirt and then cut it up. I love it. Manufactured in the 70s. Original parts. Unrestored. Okay. All right, let's continue, shall we, Sela? We got 4 more cards. Let me drink some water. Let me drink some water. You got a message for the people?
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. That's your best advice, and take a chill pill. That's not bad advice.
Don't take no actual pill, just relax. People be taking that with them.
That's a fact.
I don't even interact with them.
I said this word earlier, now it's here. It says the journey. Okay, the journey. Card says, you are learning that every challenge you face has a hidden gift inside. Every challenge you face has a hidden gift inside. What are we talking about today, kids? Self-study. Every challenge you faced, you are learning that every challenge you face has a hidden gift inside. So this is something that comes obviously with maturity, even to recognize that you're on a journey, okay? Yes, HBCU, yes, she is a Bison. She attends Howard. She is a Bison. I guess that makes me a Bison mom. You are learning that every challenge you face has a hidden gift inside. So this is a sign of maturity, okay? This is how you know you getting to be grown folk. Not just because your number big, but because you actually learning some shit. It's like this card says you are learning. Learning, okay? Sign of maturity, learning. Right? sign of maturity is when we learn. Like, you're not making the same bonehead mistakes that you made in your 20s or in your teens or in your 30s. You're not doing that anymore because you learned, right? Hopefully. That's a sign of maturity. When we learn what works and what doesn't work, and we stop doing what doesn't work and do more of what works, that is a sign of maturity. We learn, okay? But this says that we not only just learn in general, but specifically we learn how to find gifts in challenge. We learn how to find value in difficult experiences. Another sign of maturity. Okay, as my daddy say, if you live long enough, ... okay, fill in the blank. If you live long enough, you're gonna learn some shit, okay? Life is gonna teach, it's gonna learn you some shit, okay? So it's like recognizing that everything doesn't always have to go your way in order for it to be going your way, okay? Okay, it's recognizing that everything doesn't have to be going your way in order for it to be going your way, but that requires a mindset shift. That means that you have to embrace every single experience that you have as an open book that's going to teach you something. It's either going to teach you what works or what doesn't work. It's all valuable if you're here to learn the lesson, okay? Self-study. Okay. Self-study. Learning lessons, okay? Self-study. Learning lessons from previous behavior. Self-study, what works and doesn't work, okay? So mature people come to realize that life is a journey, okay? That life is a series of moments strung together that create our story, that tells the journey of our soul, what our soul came here to do, or be, or have, or accomplish, okay? And at every step, there is wisdom in it. At every single step in this journey, there is wisdom and knowledge and insight and power. There's all kinds of things in every single moment, even especially the ones that you think are gone awry, the ones that are misaligned, the ones that are not feeling the best, or not feel fun, or don't feel like what you want to do in the moment. Like, that shit is the shit that where you learning the most. Okay? That shit has the most gifts inside. Okay, so self-study, it's like recognizing that each stage of your life tells not just the story of your past, but it still tells the story of your future. Each stage of your life tells the story of your future. Isn't that interesting? Grandma used to say, keep living, life gonna learn you. That country woman from Laurel, Mississippi. Told me no lies, okay? My daddy was from Memphis, Tennessee, so that ain't too far away from each other. Same shit, different day, okay? Same shit, different day. Yes, to be wise, to be mature, is to know that life is a journey there, or that in that any moment it can change, okay? And that is always for the better. That potential is always for the better, and that potential is always for something that we may not prefer. But life is always changing. It's always shape-shifting. It's nothing stagnant about it. There's nothing stagnant about life. We got to stay ready for change, okay? Stay ready for change. And this card of the journey is like, pay attention. Pay attention to how you navigate change is what I'm hearing. Pay attention to how you respond to change, okay? This journey card is not about just things, things being on an upward trajectory. We know that's not life. We know life is ups and downs and roundabouts and here's and downs and back up again. We know that's the journey, okay? But are you studying how you maneuver and how you navigate the journey? Are you studying not just, whether a decision was, quote, good or bad, but your process in going into the decision, how you came to make the decision? Are you paying attention to how you feel when you make decisions and you live through decisions? Like, it's a lot of energy around self-fucking-study. Okay. My grandma from Mounds Bayou, Mississippi. I think you mean grandmother. Okay. I think it meant grandmother. Okay. Keep on living, baby, and watch life happening. Live alive. Ooh, I like that. Live alive. Live alive. Ooh, live alive. Come on, Grandma. Live alive. Come on. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I love that. Okay, card says surrender. Okay. Surrender. It says release and surrender all control and let nature take its course. What was the other thing? We saw something else that says something similar like that. Allow the magic to unfold as synchronistic events lead you in a new direction, and release and surrender all control and let nature take its course. Okay. So as we talk in self-study, who in here knows how to surrender? Raise your hand. Who amongst you knows how to surrender? Raise your hand. How do you let go of control of something? I'll wait. How do you surrender? Who has mastered this? Who studied themselves well enough to know how they surrender? Yep, I'll wait. I'm gonna be waiting for a long time. And isn't that funny when we talk about like building our trust and our faith and our higher power and like having belief and and all the things, and we don't know how to surrender? Well, I'm gonna give you a little bit of insight as to why you don't know how to surrender. It's because you don't always know what you're holding on to. It's like, sometimes we can recognize a block where we might be stopping ourselves from moving forward. We might recognize where we put blocks in our way, but we don't recognize what we're holding on to that we need to let go of in order to get in alignment. We don't always pay attention to that. And that's where everything is. That's why we be feeling stuck. It's because we are holding on to something that keeps us in a certain position as opposed to letting go so that we can move forward. So what are you holding on to? Okay. What are you holding on to that's keeping you from moving forward? And then what is serving as the block? Because between those two things is where you exist right now. Between what you're still holding on to that's not working and what you haven't quite figured out how to master to get over. That's where you are, is that little liminal space in between. And so, hey, listen, I understand that people do what they got to do, to just get through life. So sometimes you don't even be feeling like you got time to like self-reflect and self-study and all the things. Like self-study sounds like a whole class, right? As opposed to a moment of time, a moment of self-focused attention, a moment of self-love and intentional self-care. Like self-study starts to feel like, oh my God, I got something else to do. Like, fuck yeah, you got something else to do. The more important thing to do, which is focus on yourself so you can be better equipped to make all these decisions and navigate all these changes and go forward to what you're trying to do with confidence. Hell yeah, that's something else you got to do. That should be the first thing you want to do, is to make sense of that so that the rest of your life can make more sense. So, did I mention we're doing a human design workshop series? This might be a good time to mention it. Let me mention that we're doing a human design workshop series as we're talking about self-study today, kids. Honestly and truly. Honestly and truly. It's like in human design, you get to see the parts of yourself that you don't see. You get to not only see it, you also get to give language to it in ways that maybe other people can't even give language to what they see about you. Like, the real meat of human design is being able to see the parts of you that you are unconsciously aware of. Okay. That the things that lie in your subconscious, your natural default behaviors, beliefs, preferences, tendencies, your energetic needs, all of that shit is found in your human design body graph. And that literally is the heart of whatever is holding you back in life. That is the essence at its nucleus, at the nucleus of all the things that are holding you back in life is the stuff you can't see. The stuff you're not mindfully aware of. The habits, the patterns, the routines, the beliefs, the values, all the shit that's behind the scenes running the show is what's keeping you in that space. So, what I love about human design is you can study yourself. You don't necessarily need somebody to do a reading for you if you are willing to invest the time, the energy, attention, invest in the resources, and watch the YouTube videos and do all of the things to better understand your human design. Or you can take a workshop where you get to learn it all at an accelerated pace, but very digestible bites. So, our workshop series is literally 4 days in a row, but it's only 90 minutes a day. So it's like Friday night for an hour and a half, Saturday and Sunday morning for an hour and a half, and then Monday afternoon for an hour and a half, and you're there. So I can just present the offer. You guys get to decide if you are interested to learn more about yourself. This isn't about learning more about this tool. This is learning more about yourself. So if you are in this stage of self-study where you're actually wanting to invest in your self-study, I absolutely welcome you to join us this weekend. Again, it starts Friday. It's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as well. 4 workshops. You can attend one or you can come to all 4, okay? It's one for $99. You can come to all 4 for $197. And I'll tell you, if you hear this message, for those who don't listen to this channel, they won't know. But if you hear this message, I'll send you a 50% off coupon. You go to my Instagram, DM me. I'll send you a 50% off coupon code so that you can use it today to be able to register because it starts on Friday, okay? And if you can't come to each day, it's okay. They're going to be independently operated as standalone. So you come to what you can come to and catch whatever you can catch on the back end, okay? But I can assure you that this is the guided tour that you are wanting, needing, and looking for because it's hosted live. We're not doing pre-recorded content. This is live with both myself and Victoria Lee on standby to answer questions just for you. So I can just tell you, go to begreateveryday.com, okay? begreateveryday.com. Click the events page. It'll show you right there, Human Design in a Nutshell, our Nutshell series, okay? Take one workshop or take all 4, whatever you prefer. But they're all going to be interactive, and we are literally here to help you better understand yourself using human design as a tool. But even besides that, again, it's begreateveryday.com, okay? Even besides that, there is so much self-study you can do on your own just through self-reflection and introspection, okay? Self-reflection and introspection. Now, here's the thing about self-reflection. Again, you're not going to be able to see anything you can't see, which is, again, why it's helpful to be able to use your body graph to help you see the unconscious things that are playing out in your life, the things you're not consciously aware of. You can use your body graph for that, okay? And I'm going to assure you that even if you take your time to learn human design on your own without our guide or support, that's your business. It's totally fine, and we encourage it. Just learn yourself. Just learn how you best function. That's it. That's the whole priority. Learn what works for you. Learn what you need to do for you. Learn what's holding you back. Learn what's keeping you stuck. Learn all the things that will empower you. That's the whole point. Okay? But the challenge in this, okay, is that you have a biased opinion of yourself. You only can see yourself from one lens. And this is a good, bad, and ugly conversation because some of you have overinflated egos where you are like, oh, I'm the best in things in sliced bread, and I've dealt with all of this and all of that. And meanwhile, your life is a shambles still, and you're making excuses for why you're perfectly fine the way it is. Okay, not talking to those people. Okay, and if you identify with that, I'm sorry. I'm talking about. I want to talk to people who recognize that life is not going in its ideal fashion, the way that you want to feel in it, okay? And you feel that gray area that I was talking about, that void in your life, okay? Like you feel it, but you can't quite put your finger on it. Like this is for you, okay? This tool is for you. You feel it, you can't put your finger on it, okay? And why is this tool, this workshop series and this tool is for you because it helps you to see what you can't see. It helps you to see what you know is there, but you can't give language to. It helps you to unpack the dynamics that are playing out in your relationships, in your relationship with yourself, not to mention, of course, your relationship with others. It's like it helps you to understand like where you are actually putting the block. Where are the stakes in the sand? Is it around fear? Is it around creativity and clarity? Is it around bravery and courage? You know, is it around like connecting with your feeling and what really matters to you? Like, is it around your work and your worthiness? Like, where is the block? Okay. Because it's like you've gone to the therapy, you've done the things, you maybe even taking medication. Shit. You maybe even work with a coach, and you've worked with this kind of guru and that kind of person and this kind of course and that kind of workshop and all the things that keep saying that it's going to work. I can assure you, human design is at the epicenter. Okay. It's gonna be at the end. And let me tell you why. Okay, and this is not meant to be. It's live. It's not pre-recorded. It's live. It's live and in real time. Let me tell you why this tool is so much more dynamic than anything you've ever used. And I know this sounds like really salesy, but I'm not. I'm telling, not selling. This tool is based on nothing other than your birth date, time, and location. Like that's how I knew it was real. That's how I knew it was real. Is because there was no place for human bias in it. There was no place for somebody's opinion or judgment or biased explanation of anything that I am or do or have been through. Nothing about it was biased. It was my birth date, time, location. My name is not even required in order to pull the information about yourself. For me, as you can pull it for you. Your name is not even attached to it. Your address, nothing of your personal information, your birth date, time, location. So that means that anybody else that shares that exact birth date, time, and location, y'all gonna have the same exact body graph. Even if y'all never met, you're probably born at the same hospital at the same time, y'all gonna have the same exact energy flow. But it's only unique to that person with that birth date, time, location. That's what makes this such a dynamic tool, is because it gets specific to how your energy flows based on when you were born. That is it. And it tells you detailed information when you have a good reader, okay? If you're just looking at the body graph itself, it can be a little overwhelming, which is why people like me and Victoria exist, is to help you make sense of this in a really practical way. So again, it's Human Design in a nutshell. It's a live workshop series. It's 4 parts. It's 90 minutes each day. And it's experiential. It's not like class. This is like an experience. It's meant to teach you about human design, but in an experiential way, and help you better understand your particular energy flow. Okay. So again, begreateveryday.com. All right. So, card says the void. Okay, let's get back into it. As we're talking about self-study as our theme, that's why I went on that tangent. Okay, gotta tell you about what we're offering. The card says the void. Okay, and it says you may be covering up the emptiness or pain within. Oh, you may be covering up the emptiness or pain within through an addiction. You may be covering up the emptiness or the pain within through an addiction. Okay. So what was I saying earlier? We were talking about sleep. Trying to get to sleep. Trying to get to sleep by drinking your wine before you go to bed, or having your joint, or eating your little chocolate. Okay. Or trying to get to sleep by surfing the internet, on the shopping sites, on Amazon, and Temu, trying to change your life by overdosing on personal development content. We can have addictions of all kinds. Addiction is not limited to illegal narcotics and substances. Addictions of all kinds exist, from food to fashion to tech to pop culture to nutrition to What, I mean, pick your vice. You can find one. Okay. Pick your martyr. Okay, you can find one. So the card says the void. So it's given the vibes of needing to pay attention. Anything that you are doing in excess, okay? Anything that you are doing in excess. And you pick a thing, okay? Anything that you're doing in excess routinely is an addiction. Anything you're doing in excess routinely. Now, I guess an operative word in there is excess. How would one define excess? Um, so the first thing I want to say is it's intuitive. You know if enough is enough and when's too much. Okay, that's the first thing I'm hearing. If enough is enough and when's too much. Um, that's one way for you to uncover. Okay. Um, Certain things have guidelines for moderation. There's lots of research on how much internet is too much internet, how much screen time is too much screen time. Okay. So there's some variance in this. And we talk about excess. What is excess? Some of us will define excess one way, some of us another. Okay, someone say, well, I have one glass of wine daily. That's not excessive. And then someone might say, well, drinking every day is excessive. Okay, so I'm not the excess police, but I do feel intuitively that you know when enough is enough and when's too much. Okay, but the card says the void, as if to self-study the void. So if you do find yourself kind of over functioning, okay, over abusing things, and addictions of all kinds. So they're showing me like a makeup addiction. So it's like you can't leave your house without makeup on. That's a problem. Never. That's a problem. Okay. And we don't look at those things like addiction. We think of those things as more like insecurity, but on the back of an insecurity, we birth an addiction. Insecurity, void. Okay. So it's all kind of stuff we're doing in excess, okay, to cover up on what feels like an unhealed emotion. Okay. It says covering up emptiness or pain through addiction. So a need to dive deeper into that. So if you're a regular routine smoker, okay, does it bubble over past excessiveness? If you're a regular routine drinker or whatever your pleasure, okay, you have to have sex every day, every single day. It's got to be 6 times a week. Okay. It's like everything is an addiction if it's too much. Okay. There's a threshold. So it's pay attention to the void. The energy is a self study. Unpack. Why? Why do you feel a need to do X, Y, or Z? Why? What's your why? Okay. And it's like because da 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 da. Okay. Well, why do you need that? Okay. So see if you can ask yourself at least three layers of why, preferably 5. Ask yourself why 5 times to see if you can get underneath why that habit. Okay. And what need is it meeting? The habit is there to serve a function of overshadowing some void or emptiness. What is it? Where did it come from? Okay. How do you feel it? Okay. So big energy around self-study there. Okay. And oh my God, we're at the last card. And just in time, because I got 9% on my phone. Okay. Hey, cutie. Last card, Sela, is angel numbers. Huh? Underneath there. If they're clean. They're probably not clean because, boom. Angel numbers. Angel numbers. It says pay attention to the signs. Your angels are trying to deliver a message. Look at the butterfly, sis. Pay attention to the signs. Your angels are trying to deliver a message. Pay attention to the signs. Angel numbers. I called her out here earlier because angel number 44 is her angel number, and she see it all the time. And now the card is confirming. Pay attention to the signs. Your angels are trying to deliver a message. So, I don't really know how to tell you this like this, but I mean, that kind of sets it up in a mysterious way. But I mean, like, I don't really know how you use this moving forward in your life. But, because I feel like angel numbers is something that just kind of happens synchronistically. It's not something that you are looking for. You don't look for angel numbers. You know, it's just like your eye happens to glance and notice, and then you may happen to glance and notice, and then make sense that, oh, I just noticed the same number twice. And one was on the back of a bus, and the other one was when you looked at the time, and it's like, oh, I just saw 44. You know, so when you catch those moments, it's like those are kind of like those synchronistic moments that you may not be paying attention to in the moment, but like once you see the same number 2 or 3 or 4 times, you're like, wait, I keep seeing this number. Like when you experience that, you want to look up the number. You may not be into numerology, but that doesn't mean it's not real. You may not be real into astrology, doesn't mean it's not real. Okay, so numerology is this theory that numbers carry meaning. Okay, and so certain specific sets of numbers carry a specific meaning. It's like kind of decoding things through numbers. And so when you notice the same numbers, I really do encourage, oh, you've been seeing them like crazy, Crystal? Yeah, girl. It's like, I've been seeing them like crazy too. Right now I'm on 777. I keep seeing that regularly. It's really that. That's what's really standing out right now. And you know, depending on the season, I'll see 44 a lot, 3 ones, you know, it just depends on what's going on. It depends on what messages they're trying to give me. But I have been seeing a lot of 7s. But yeah, pay attention, okay? Again, self-study, pay attention. I was saying, I don't know how to tell you how to use this moving forward because it's like one of those, it feels like one of those more unconscious things that happens. It's like, because if you're out looking for it, you're not going to find it. So I don't want you to go out looking for numbers. It's just notice where your eyes glance and notice where your eyes land and notice if there's any continuity, if there's any symmetry or similarity, okay? You may see 44, but then you also might see 444, okay? So it's like, just kind of notice. And if you're interested, look up the numbers to see what the messages that the angels are trying to share with you in real time in that moment, okay? Okay. All right, so, yeah. I love this. This is good. So it's a lot of energy around self-study, paying attention to yourself in all of these unique ways. It's really honoring what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you need, what you prefer, what you like. Okay, it's like really honoring like how you move in the world best. When I make decisions like this, what kind of response do I get versus when I do it like that? When I communicate like this versus when I communicate like that. It's like paying attention. And some of these nuances, especially when we find things that work, when we're really good at, you know, being effective and connecting with people or talking about things or moving through things. Like when we find strategies that work, those are sometimes harder to discover because it's like we just do what works and we keep moving. We're not actually psychoanalyzing what we did so we can do it again on purpose. But that's why today is here. That's why we're today years old and we're being encouraged to self-study, is so that you can know. Self-study is at its essence the key to mastery. It's like paying attention to what works and what doesn't work is what gets you there, okay? Self-study is the key to intuitive self-mastery because you can't tap into your intuition if you're not paying attention to what's happening in your own experience. You've got to pay attention to what's happening, okay? You've got to notice how you feel. You only know resonance when you pay attention to how you feel. It doesn't matter what you think. You don't feel peace until you feel peace, okay? So just keep all of that in mind, kids. Keep all of that in mind. Thank y'all for joining, by the way. I haven't said that enough. I try to say that at least a few times just so y'all know it's real because I really means it. Every weekday, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. Y'all chime in here to holler at me and chat with me and catch these messages, catch this fade with me in the mornings. And we do it together, and it's a treat. It's an honor and a pleasure to hold the space with you and for you. Again, I want to remind y'all, again, it's weekdays, Monday through Friday. So not the weekends, but you can catch me out here tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, doing the live morning message. Those of you who found interest in the Human Design in a Nutshell conversation and you decide you do want to interact with me and this crazy girl right here to do this live workshop this weekend, join us, won't you? Again, I'm giving out a promo code today only. I gave it out yesterday also. I won't say it today only. I gave a code out yesterday because, again, I can't get to my mailing list. So I'm trying to at least get you guys who are faithful, loyal followers. I don't want you to suffer at the hands of my inconvenience. And so I would love to have you guys join us this weekend starting on Friday, the 28th. Again, for Human Design in a Nutshell, our 4-part series. Go to begreateveryday.com/events if you want to know more about the program. If you want a promo code to save half off, which I bet you do, go right now. Follow me on Instagram, okay? Go to the show notes if you need to go find my at Instagram. Find me on Instagram, DM me, and I'm going to send you a 50% off a promo code. Must be used today, okay? Must be used today. If you still have a code from yesterday, it's all good. I let that one run through today because I knew I was going to do it again. So if you want the promo code, make sure you follow me on Instagram, DM me. I'll shoot that over to you, and then hopefully you can join us either for one part or all 4 parts. It's up to you, okay? If you can only come to one day, come on Saturday. Okay, but if you can come to the other days, I highly encourage, especially those of you who might be entrepreneurs. You definitely want to come on Monday if you're an entrepreneur, as we're going to be talking about Human Design for business success, teaching you how to leverage your natural vibe, your natural energy flow, your natural presentation to the world in such a way that you leverage it in business. So that you become a more confident decision maker, so you become a stronger leader, so that you can be more clear about your offers and that they really are aligned with who you are and how you are, as opposed to trying to make yourself be something that you're not. So we will dive into all the details of how Human Design can help you get more clarity about how you best function in your business, as well as in your relationships and your parenting, etc., 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 etc. There's so much. We can't wait to share. All right. But in the meantime, in between time, again, go to begreateveryday.com /events if you want to check out that Nutshell program. But just go and take a look around. Those of you who maybe can't come this weekend, want to book a one-on-one reading, I'm going to tell you that promo code is going to be good for that too. So DM me on Instagram if you want a 50% off promo code. It's good for the workshop this weekend or for a one-on-one reading. Don't tell nobody. All right. I love y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's say bye. As I always say, life does not have to be perfect in order for you to be great every day, no matter what. You just have to make the conscious choice. So choose to have a great day, y'all, no matter what.